If you're moving to Montreal but feeling a bit lost in all the different neighborhoods and where to buy or where to move to, don't worry, I've got you covered. I've lived here my whole life and I can help you understand the ins and outs of each area so you know exactly where you want to be. So if you want to avoid costly mistakes when buying here, you'll definitely want to watch this video. So let's dive into it. Montreal Island is located within the province of Quebec, which is quite unique in Canada. You see, Quebec is the only province where French is considered the primary language, with a whopping 82% of its population proudly speaking it. Now, when we talk about Montreal, it's like the cultural heart of Quebec. It's where the action is. When people move to Quebec, they often end up right here in the metropolitan area, because this is where you find the downtown scene, iconic spots like the Olympic Stadium, and big-name universities like McGill, Concordia, and let's not forget the famous Eaton Center. As a result, within the island of Montreal itself, it's a bit of a language party. You'll see English, French, and plenty of other languages too. But the further and further away you venture from the island's core, the harder and harder it is to find someone who would speak anything other than French. Moving forwards, let's zoom in on the island of Montreal itself. The island can be divided into two sections, the east and the west. So over to the east, that's where the action happens. That's the city of Montreal. That's where you'll find the buzzing metropolitan core with all its hustle and bustle. It's the heartbeat of the island. And then over to the west, you'll find the city of West Island with well-known municipalities like Pointe Claire, Kirkland, and Beaconsfield. And for all you adventurers out there, that's also where you'll find the Pierre-Elliott Trudeau Airport, as well as some of the island's largest parks. On the west, most folks are English speaker, so if you're looking for that English speaking vibe, along with some breathtaking water views, that's the place to be. Next up, let's dive into the nitty-gritty of the city of Montreal. This place has its own divisions, which they call arrondissements in French or boroughs in English. Now we're talking about 19 unique boroughs, each with its own distinct characteristics. And just like the island of Montreal itself, you'll find a lot of French speakers on the east side of the metropolitan area, and as you venture west, you'll hear more English, with the middle being the cultural melting pot. That's where downtown Montreal is, especially in the borough situated in the southwest of the island. Now let's talk about some of the better-known boroughs within the Montreal City. We've got Côte-des-Neiges, Notre-Dame-des-Grâces, also known as NDG, home to the University of Montreal. Then there's the La Salle borough, home to prestigious institutions like McGill and Concordia University. Next to that, you'll find the Westmount borough, the most expensive neighborhood in all of Montreal. And let's not forget the Sud-Ouest borough with its buzzing Griffintown area. This place is a hotspot for young professionals due to its proximity to big corporate offices and a lot of apartment-type housing and new condos. It's also where you'll catch all those big concerts and world tours at the famous Bell Center. And for you nature lovers out there, the Plateau Mount Royal area is a borough you wouldn't want to miss. Right in the heart of the city, you'll find this remarkable hill with an amazing nature scene. But here's what makes it truly special. When the sun sets, Mount Royal transforms into a vibrant nightlife. Within the main street of Mount Royal, you'll find hundreds of famous bars and restaurants, each within walking distance from each other. So whether you're exploring the great outdoors during the day or soaking in the vibrant nightlife after dark, Mount Royal is a gem you won't want to miss. And finally, a well-known borough for tourists would be the Ville-Marie borough, where you'll find the Old Port of Montreal. The Old Port attracts many foreign visitors due to its unique architecture that tells the story of Quebec. During the summer, this area truly comes alive by bringing numerous festivals, food carts, and weekly fireworks shows. Next to the Old Port, you also find the Chinatown of Montreal, the Place des Arts Center, as well as La Ronde, Quebec's largest and most exciting theme park. Although Montreal City is a very exciting place to be, I want to end this video by talking about the suburbs of Montreal. Because let's face it, the city is not for everyone. It can get crowded, it can get loud, it's impossible to avoid getting a parking ticket, and it can get very expensive sometimes. So the suburbs can sometimes be the better alternative, offering bigger living spaces for families while remaining in close proximity to the city. I like to divide the suburb area into three sections: Laval, Montreal North Shore, and Montreal South Shore. Let's start with Laval. It's actually located on its own island called Île Jésus, situated right on top of the island of Montreal. It's basically its own suburban metropolitan with 14 municipalities forming the city. Due to its location and environment, Laval is the perfect combination of family-friendly suburbs while maintaining a great number of benefits from city living. However, if you're the type of person who doesn't care much about the city life, but more about the nature scene that Quebec has to offer, the North Shore, situated midway between the city of Montreal and the Quebec countryside, might be perfect for you. Due to its proximity to farms, skiing trails, national parks, and much more, it's a very popular suburban area for native French speakers and also for families who are simply looking for more space at the most affordable price. North Shore Montreal is considered to be a true Quebec community. Finally, there is the South Shore of Montreal, where you'll find cities such as Longueuil, Brossard, and Boucherville. For professionals who want to live in the suburbs while remaining in close proximity to downtown Montreal, some of the cities on the west side of the South Shore are very popular options because you simply need to cross the bridge to get into the downtown area. It's also the closest you can get to our neighbor country, the United States of America. Some of the cities on the South Shore are actually less than an hour car ride away from the US border. So if you're someone who needs to commute to US for work or simply enjoys going on the occasional road trip to New York, the South Shore might have some excellent options for you. There you have it, folks, a taste of the vibrant Montreal scene. But believe me, the city has much more to offer. If you're considering moving here, you might want to check out my other video about the cheapest places to move near Montreal so you don't miss out on the most affordable places this region has to offer. If you have any questions about the Montreal communities or real estate scene, feel free to drop a comment, send me an email, or give me a call. I'll be happy to keep this conversation going.